Beautiful life. On the 10th of May 2023, the Round Britain cruise RBC 60 came to Plymouth, and we were there to record it.
Jonathan Brice. I am the local coordinator for Plymouth for the Old Gaffers Association Round Britain cruise on their 60th anniversary jaunt around the UK.
Now, you started off from where?
Started in Ramsgate on 27 April, making way west. There was a planned stop in Cowes on the Isle of Wight, and then because the weather went bad, a lot of the boats put into Weymouth, which is why things are taking a little bit longer to organise here in Plymouth, and in fact the departure will now be delayed at least one day.
So we're talking about thunderstorm and torment, tempest.
I'm not so sure about the biblical explanation there, or the description, but we were certainly apparently talking about 60-mile-an-hour winds, and possibly even gusting up to 70 miles an hour, and caught one or two people by surprise a little bit, and others ran away from it. So, but we haven't had any casualties so far as we're aware.
Going around Land's End can be tricky.
Well, they've got to encounter that in the next few days, but they'll be careful, and they've got one or two ports they can go into just in case.
So will anybody be stopping off around the Cornish coast?
I have heard that some people hope to put into Foy, and Falmouth is always a favourite as well, and I think that at least one of the boats might be stopping over in Newlyn, but they'll play it by the weather.
So if anyone wants to see what a gaffer looks like, can you explain?
Well, a gaffer, the sail has a fairly flat top to it. It's an old historic rig that derived from the working boats of 150, 200 years ago, and has evolved down through the decades. And the Old Gaffers Association, set up 60 years ago, was to celebrate and help preserve the boats that were of that heritage. And of course, these days, some of the boats, whilst they're very well preserved, 100 and 150 years old, they're made out of timber, of course. More modern materials have taken over, but the boats still pay homage to the gaff rig and keep the interest in that particular rig alive. And you'll see them because, particularly down in the Falmouth area, you have the Falmouth working boats, the oyster dredgers, and they're all gaff rigged, and you'll see the bowsprit out ahead of the front of the boat carrying extra sail, and they really do make a wonderful sight, a great visual.
Super.
That do?
Yeah.
That's great. What's your name, by the way?
Christine
Sorry.
Butler.
Thank you very much.
You rang, sir, that kind of thing.
Okay, thank you very much. Cheers.
Okay, we're going to pontoon now. Chris.
Okay, Jonathan, how long have you been running the Plymouth Classics?
Well, my involvement of the Plymouth Classics goes back to 2002, maybe 2001 even.
And how did you get involved with it?
We had a small wooden yacht, used to bring to the Classics, and I also had a number of friends who had boats, and we always used to come up to Plymouth from Cornwall and have a great time here in Plymouth. It's a wonderful spot.
It's nice.
And the Barbican, we were in Turnchapel to begin with, and then we came over to the Barbican, where Sutton Harbor kindly hosted us for about 11 years, and now we bring a slightly smaller fleet here as well. And Sutton Harbor is the ideal location for heritage boats, with the wonderful old stone buildings surrounding.
It's nice when you've got the music as well.
Oh yes, music has always been quite a part of it. We've had a number of local bands play, and a lot of local musicians on the pontoons and on the boats.
Yes.
And it's been a wonderful thing over the years, because music and old boats do go together very well.
Especially on balmy, warm afternoons.
Oh yes.
With the beer flowing.
Yes. Sutton Harbor very kindly hosted a number of pontoon parties, and we've had various local musicians play.
So where are we heading now, Jonathan?
Well, we're going over to the pontoons accessed via Guy's Quay.
Right.
And we'll have a look at some of the boats that have turned up on this Round Britain cruise to celebrate the Old Gaffers Association's 60th birthday.
And how many boats have we got coming in, do you think?
Today I think we're going to have about 12.
Yes.
Tomorrow there's an additional 8 boats arriving. Originally 32 boats were booked in, but there have been a few casualties, a few incidents, and life has intervened for some.
Well, we had some interesting thunderstorms yesterday, and I was next to getting caught in them.
Yes, yes. Well, 60-mile-an-hour winds off Cornwall.
Yeah.
And that was quite something.
Hello. How's your sailing been?
I've only got my saltash.
Have you really? So it's not too far then?
No. I'm one of the locals.
Oh, right.
Doing the round.
Well, what's your name?
Tony.
I like Tony. At least you didn't get caught in the storms yesterday.
Sorry?
At least you didn't get caught in the thunderstorms yesterday.
No, some people are struggling. I think it's half a dozen that are struggling to get past Salford.
Yeah.
The wind and the tide against us now.
Okay, I'll just catch you with them and I'll talk to you later. Cheers, thanks a lot.
The weather forecast was so wrong.
Well, I think you need to discuss that with the BBC.
Well, I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
I've taken numerous pictures of you, vessels.
Already, yeah.
Okay.
Before you were rafted up.
So, do you want to stand this side or that side? Do you want to sit as you are, and I'll sit next to you?
Whichever you like.
What you need to know is Christine's looking for the rough round.
Yeah, I want you to be rough and ready.
A real sea dog tail.
Yeah, somebody who's gone through the 60 mile an hour.
Okay.
Winds and stuff. Are you?
Right.
Should I climb off?
Yeah, climb on. And I will...
Woo! Well, it does actually look quite comfortable.
Okay, well, as long as you get far enough up, then you'll be alright.
Getting cosy.
So, who the devil? Hang on.
Is this live or is it being recorded?
Pre-recorded.
Okay.
Who the devil? Hi.
Right, I'm Tim Brice, and I'm sailing a boat called Picardy 2, which is a 1949 Maurice Griffiths boat. And I was sailing it up from Helford to here to take part in this event for the few days. And the weather forecasts were entirely inaccurate. So we started off yesterday morning with no wind, which we should have had wind, so we had to motor for 3 hours. And then we sailed, or then I sailed for a little while, and then the weather dropped, wind dropped again. So I put the engine on, and then some wind got up. Not much, just a little bit. So I thought, we can sail, hurrah! I'm now 5 hours, 6 hours into this journey. And so the wind got up in the space of 5 minutes from almost nothing to about 60 knots. Now fortunately, because I had been motoring, my head sails weren't up. And so I had my mainsail out, and when the wind came up so quickly, I turned into wind, i.e. going back down towards Cornwall, or back down towards Helford, so that I could put some reefs in the sail. And unfortunately, the wind was so strong that that was almost impossible. And I decided then to put the gaff down. Now on gaff cutters, of course, you have a square sail, so you've got a wooden beam on the top and a wooden beam on the bottom. And it got caught halfway down. So that meant that all the wind was filling the sail like a big balloon, and I couldn't get it down, so I had to lasso everything, wrap it around to pull the thing down and then tie the sails in. And so I was clambering around on top of this boat at 30 degrees in this horizontal rain and this wind, which should never have been there, but the forecasters weren't right. And then got that under control, and then spent the next 3 hours surfing in towards Plymouth. I was surfing at 7.5 knots, going down these rather large waves. Interesting, but fortunately it was directly behind me, so there we go.
Was that scary?
Yes, of course it was. But on the other hand, you haven't got any option. It needs to be done. So yeah.
Have you ever been in that sort of situation before?
That is I was on my own. So I've been in pretty severe conditions with other people. I've sailed across the Atlantic. But that was the worst conditions in the shortest space of time I've ever been faced with.
That's incredible.
No, it's just horrible. Anyway, so there we go. I survived.
Oh, say that again. There we go, I survived.
There we go, I survived.
That was just spot on.
Cue for a song there.
That was
I will survive.
fantastic.
No, it was horrible.
I had to say though, I might have just ask you this one thing. No, not what happened to you, but what you said. Okay? I've been told your boat is rare because it's all wood.
It's relatively rare in that very few boats are made out of wood. I mean, there are still traditional boat builders making wood. There's some down at Greek and there's some down at Falmouth and all the rest of it. And there's a lot of boats, there's quite a few here, that are replicas in that they're glass fibre, hull, and then they've got all the rest of the traditional bits with it. Glass fibre, of course, tends not to leak, and so therefore that's much easier to look after.
Does yours leak?
The hull doesn't, but the top side do. So I was once told by an old sea dog that the thing to do in an old wooden boat is to have lots of charts and some thumbtacks. So the old charts you don't want anymore. You thumbtack to the ceiling, and when you're sleeping, it'll keep you dry.
Oh, you're a good interviewer.
So how long have you had this boat?
2 years.
I've so enjoyed meeting you, Tim. Thank you very much for letting me step on board.
That's all right, pleasure.
Thank you very much.
I'll try and put some flags out there.
Who else is in there?
So did you have to do much work on it, Tim?
Oh, masses. You don't want to know how much I had to do.
Yeah.
I bought it up in Rochester, and I was told that all you needed was a new battery, and the engine had to come out completely swapped over with a reconditioned engine. It was seized. So
what is the nicest thing about it?
The nicest thing about it? Well, the previous boat I had was a 19-foot gaff cutter.
Yes.
Which was a John Leather design with a lifting keel in the middle.
Yeah.
Fantastic, really lovely boat. 2 berths, heads, sink and cooker. You know, to get that into 19 feet was just fantastic. But again, it was all wood. It was a clinker-built boat. But it didn't have an inboard engine.
Yes.
It had an outboard engine. And so because I go up and down the coast, actually an outboard is not brilliant.
You said earlier that you sailed across the Atlantic. Where have you been?
Oh, I came across on a service boat from New York down to Gosport.
Yeah.
That was good. Other than that, you know, it's 23 days. There's nowhere to stop. It's 4 hours on, 4 hours off. You know.
So, how did you get into boating in the first place?
My uncle and aunt had a boat in Cowes, well, not in Cowes, in the other side of the water in Southampton, the Hamble.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I've got a hip that's going on me,
Oh dear.
and they're talking about putting a new one on. So.
You better not win the race then, otherwise they'll be saying hip hip hooray.
Yes.
Sorry. Just trying to turn it into something light. So, how long have you been sailing?
How long? Since I was about 25.
Yeah. Is that your boat at the back?
At the back, yeah.
And what's she called?
Treath.
And how long have you had her?
It's 23 foot.
Yeah.
So,
That's almost a joke. I said, how long have you had her? And
Oh,
you
sorry,
said 23
sorry.
foot. I'll do the jokes.
yeah. About 15 years, I think.
Yeah.
I never count these things. Every year I just make it better and better.
And what sort of state was she in when you bought her?
It required work, put
Yeah.
it that way. It wasn't dreadful, but it was, you know, it needed work to doing.
Yeah.
Take a few things out, put a few things back, and now she's...
Where have you sailed from to get to Plymouth?
about 50 yards over the river at Mount
Oh, you
Batten.
should have said further afield. You should have made a big story out of it. Well, Mount Batten can tell a few stories anyway.
That's right.
But thanks very much anyway.
I'm just joshing. I have to ask you because I filmed your boat coming in. I meant it, who are you?
I'm Alan Lonsborough,
And your boat is?
Tregatreath.
That's Cornish, surely.
It's very Cornish. It was built at the Tregatreath boatyard in Milo. It went to the east coast. It worked its way back along the south coast by various owners and ended up at me.
You good? You good sailor?
I would never say I was a very good sailor. I've done a bit. I went to the Med in my previous boat for 6 years, and I sold it there. So that was good.
And so, that's not going to be staying on the tape, obviously. Are you going to, as part of this 60th anniversary, are you going to stop off in Cornwall anywhere?
No, I'm not going, I'm afraid.
What are you doing?
I've come for the party.
So this is the party in Plymouth.
Yes.
What's going to take place then? It's not all sort of drinking and... you
I
know.
don't know.
What is the party?
What is it? Well, we've got a night up at the box. We've got a talk on the figureheads that they've got up there, and then we have a meal there, and then everybody does what they want.
Surely you've got to do a little bit of the tour.
I might go out to the breakwater.
Why have you lost your interest in sailing out?
No, I haven't lost. It's just time consuming, and I haven't got the time at the moment to go anywhere.
We'll let you off this once.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
That's okay, no
Thank
problem.
you very much indeed. Bye-bye.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, no
So
problem.
you've been sailing around the Mediterranean, have you?
I did. I sailed, yeah, from at 90. I think it was 99 to 2008, something like that.
And whereabouts in the Med did you go?
Well, everywhere.
Yeah.
Started off in Gibraltar and worked my way as far as Greece
Yeah.
with my wife,
Uh-huh.
and we were still married at the end of it,
Nice one.
which was nice.
Yeah, because, I mean, tempers can be frayed when you're sailing long distances, can't they? Because it's very demanding, and when you're trying to sail a boat in the winds, then you have to shout orders.
Well, you have to, and you have to speak loudly,
Yes,
and
and tempers get frayed from time to
they
time.
can do. But we got around it.
So what's your favourite place in the Mediterranean when you were sailing?
Oh, Minorca.
Minorca, yeah.
The smaller the island.
Yeah.
In fact, we were so taken that we ended up buying a place there.
Ah, have you still got it?
No, I sold it the week before the crash in 2008, where everything went
That's timing.
pear-shaped.
Yeah, now it's difficult to stay any distance overseas for any period of time, full stop, which is ludicrous.
It
There
is.
shouldn't be any control over freedom of travel.
No, but that's the way it is. And
Yeah. So what's your name again?
Alan,
And you are quite avid, I would say, painter.
Yes, I do marine art. So I was the artist in residence last year, drawing the yachts, which is quite beautiful. And I'm going to have another go this year.
So how much of this journey have you done so far? The 60th anniversary?
Well, I'm just starting at the moment to get my head around. Boats are arriving, bunting is going up, flags are flying, and it's beginning to look interesting.
So, what is so special about this kind of event?
Well, I think classic yachts are history, and they're the history of sailing, and they're the sort of history of commerce and trade. And a lot of people think of the ocean as a barrier, but it's not. It's a freeway. It's this. If you before the advent of the internal combustion engine, you do about 10 miles a day walking beside the horse which carried the packs, whereas a sailing boat can do 150, 200 miles a day, and that changed everything. So all the transport and all the trade and all the history was by sea, and classic yachts are a reflection of our beautiful historic sailing past.
Have you got any old sea dog tales for me?
Old sea dog tale. I have to think about that for a second.
Something dramatic happen?
Well, have you heard of the Battle of the Catwater in Plymouth?
No.
Right. In the late 1500s.
You weren't around then,
No.
so don't tell me that.
No, it was. I wasn't around. But there was a full-scale battle took place in Plymouth Sound, and Sir Walter Raleigh was preparing a fleet to set sail for Brazil to find the fabled city of El Dorado, financed by Queen Elizabeth. And a Flemish fleet came gale-bound and sailed into the Sound, but the Flemish were allied with King Philip of Spain, which were mortal enemies at the time, and they failed to dip their ensigns to the to the citadel, and that was a declaration of war. So Raleigh, without hesitation, set sail in the Catwater, sailed into the Sound, and let loose with the 6-pounders, and battles commenced. And there was a full-scale nautical engagement. 2 ships were severely damaged. One had to retire. The Spanish ambassador was involved, and it was a major row. It was a great success for the Brits.
So what happened to the Flemish ships?
They retired in bad order.
Do they sort of wave a white flag or something?
Not anymore.
But they would have at that time.
I think sailing in the opposite direction would do it. But it's this famous sea battle that took place in the Sound, and it actually did happen.
Yes, but it's a bit old, that sea dog tale, isn't it? It doesn't involve you. You must have come across her a couple of times.
I try hard to do it. I sailed across the Atlantic last year, single-handed. So it was Plymouth to Madeira non-stop, Madeira to the Azores non-stop, and the Azores back to Plymouth non-stop. And it was great fun. It was an enormously challenging sail. There was a couple of big gale off Finisterre and a big gale off halfway down Portugal, which is a southerly gale, which is very annoying. Just lay a hull for 3 days and just rode it out with a small storm tube. And all the preparation work I did on the boat and the planning actually worked out, and everything was fairly straightforward, which is what you want. The ideal is not to have any exciting tales at all.
Lovely. Thank you so much for talking to me. That's very interesting. I'll see if I can get into your pictures on social media. Lovely to meet you.
They're here. Yes, I see.
I've taken a couple of pictures.
Okay, you got a couple.
So you do all the painting for the classical boats as well?
Yeah.
Well, we've spoken quite a few times.
Yeah. Hi, Chris.
How's it going? You all right?
Yeah, so back again. So I'm just sort of seeing what's a good angle to start with.
Can you tell everybody what your name is again?
My name is Adrian Bishop.
And what's your website?
AdrianBishopMarineArt.com.
Yeah, nice one. And how are your drawings and paintings coming on?
Actually, rather well.
Good.
I had an open studio a couple of months back,
yes,
which was a great success.
Nice one.
Sold a lot of paintings.
Where did you have your exhibition on show then?
Well, it's open studio at home.
Oh right, okay, yeah, of course.
40 people came around.
Nice one.
So that's inspired me working hard on the new collection.
So you're going to be busy over the next 3 days till these boats go out again?
I'm going to be
if the weather's fair.
Next couple of days I'm here.
Yeah.
We're going to be drawing away and see what I can do.
Nice one.
No pressure.
No pressure. Yeah, just be on the ball.
Yeah.
Thanks. Nice.
The gaffer style with the...
It's a gaff cutter.
It's a traditional gaff cutter.
Gaff cutter with the bowsprit that raises for mooring alongside in these very tight marinas. A giveaway as a recognition factor.
Somebody felt the boat move. Pontoon move.
They do.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hello. So it's a gaff cutter. I got a bit of that. How long have you had it?
This is the gaff cutter, Roxanne. We've owned 4 years now. Well, 5 years we've owned her, but an awful lot of work was required to bring her back to what she should be.
That seems to be the story with most of these boats.
It took the first year, of course.
Yeah.
But now she's good.
Yeah.
Nearly finished, and sails very well.
Have you been come far with that? Because some of the boat people here have only travelled up the rivers, local rivers.
This trip we've done no distance at all, but she has been to Brittany, cruising extensively in previous seasons.
Yeah.
This year we're based in Mayflower, so we can't claim it.
So you've probably done the shortest distance of the lot.
Very nearly, I suppose, yes.
So what sort of boat did you have before?
Before this, we've had a Cornish Travers Mark I, and before that a Cape Cutter. So we've gone up in size gradually, and this is now the optimum size for 2 people to handle, to do a decent passage in safety, because they are very safe boats.
So how long have you been into sailing then?
Oh, all my life.
Yeah.
It's a lifetime's pastime. Wouldn't try anything else, and being very traditional minded, of course.
And what's the furthest distance you've travelled?
That would be France.
Yeah.
Just an extended cruise around Brittany.
Yeah.
Who knows? Now retired. The world's our oyster now.
You should never retire. You always keep yourself busy.
Yes. But I don't work.
It's just
for
a label,
else.
isn't it? Retirement.
Yes. Don't work for somebody else, so I can do what we can choose our own route now, I suppose you would call it, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Right, thanks a lot anyway. What's your name?
Martin and Janet Elliott.
Thank you very much, cheers. You're right. How did he get you into boating?
Oh, no. How did he get me into boating? I married him 36 years ago, and it really was a question of love me, love my boat. I'd never sailed a boat, I'd never been on a boat.
Yeah.
And luckily I fell in love with it.
Nice one.
And we always sail as a crew, we always sail as a pair together.
Yeah. Can it be quite domineering at times when it gets stormy?
He's a different man on board, believe me.
Most of the captains are, aren't they?
Oh yes. You do what he says when he says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, nice to meet you anyway.
Thank you.
And thanks very much, cheers. And Julian's getting ready to do some painting of a classical boat. Special thanks to BBC Radio Cornwall, Plymouth Gyn, Sutton Harbor Holdings, Jonathan Brice, the Plymouth organiser, and everyone involved in the Round Britain Cruise RBC 60 2023. 30 years of culture and the arts as a free service on Love Summertime TV. Don't forget to friend and share my videos, subscribe to my channel and support me through PayPal at tcsphoto1@gmail.com. Thanks for watching the video. It's